All right, all right, all right. Welcome to the Misfit Nation. We have chatted extensively about mindset and being a better version of you. We have also spoke about mental health and the effects it has on you. Most adults have a way of masking their internal issues by having a different persona outside in the public. This gives the version they believe people want to see. We are all supposed to be this perfect picture society wants us to be. Flawless. Everything has to be immaculate as we go through life. Well, our next guest, he shattered that stigma when he realized it was hurting him more than helping him. So without further ado, let's get Clay Smeltzer on here. All right, welcome to the show, Clay Smeltzer from Purpose Infused Brotherhood. How you doing, Clay?
Oh, man, I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here, Rich, and just super excited to chat with you today and, help your audience out, and they help us out too. And actually, you and you learn from me and have a good time, man.
That's right. We bond together. We share each other's strengths, our shortfalls, and we wind up better on the other side.
Absolutely, 100%.
So tell me a little bit about your backstory. So a lot of the audience won't know you if you're not a household name. So tell us a little bit about your story so they can get to know you a little better.
Absolutely. Well, for me, my name's Clay Smeltzer. I'm the founder of Purpose Infused Brotherhood, which helps driven men become the best version of themselves by building, battling, and bonding together. And we help men get initiated into a family where they belong. But that journey kind of started for me in building the brotherhood. When I was 35 years old, I was living by what the world told me I should be and what everyone else was telling me I should be. But I was being that responsible man. I was filled, but which means the responsible man is like, I was going to work. I have a career. Like I'm also I've heard that you're not heard. You've said that your wife is a middle school teacher. I'm also a middle school teacher too. So, we're kind of the crazy ones out there, but, it's all good. But I was doing that. I was teaching, I had my career, came home. We have 3 kids. My wife, we have a dog, 2 cats, we got a yard to mow, we got all this stuff, but I was being that responsible man, taking care of, providing, protecting for the family. But I was also filled with worry, anxiety, anger, stress, negativity, shame, fear. Man, that list went on and on because I wasn't taking care of me. I was giving to everybody else besides, and I wasn't giving to myself. And the proverbial then shit hit the fan where I'm on my couch over here in my office, and my wife and I are watching a Game of Thrones episode. She's sleeping. I don't know how she was sleeping, but through Game of Thrones. But I was watching that, and one of the scenes in there was the whole door scene. Basically threw me into a complete anxiety panic attack. But that wasn't the big. I've had those before, but the big thing was I was sitting there and my wife was sleeping on me. And I'm thinking about myself as I'm going through this and feeling hot and sweaty and all this kind of stuff and just going into this panic mode. And I'm sitting there going, man, if I can't take care of myself, how am I going to take care of my family? And that was the point in time where I was like, things have to change, and I think men change for 2 reasons. One, because there's a golden carrot way out in front of you that looks really good, or the shit hits the fan. And for me, that was it. That was my change agent, and it said, hey, something need to happen. So from that moment, I started to dive into all the things I didn't want to deal with about myself. All the things I listed there: negativity, stress, shame, fear. I dove into those. I what I call the shadow. I walked into it, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't nice, but from there, being able to go and deal with the things I didn't want to deal with, that I shoved back in my mind, that were painful, that hurt, that made me vulnerable. Those things like that. That's where the Purpose Infused Brotherhood came from. Because our symbol's the phoenix, and I love the phoenix because out of the ashes comes a brand new phoenix. And that's what I always say. We talk about phoenix cycles, and you've been through them. Everybody that's listening here has been through it. I've been through it. But what a phoenix cycle is you'll burn your old self down, and out of those ashes comes a new, better version of yourself. And that's kind of what I've done. And I've taken that concept and really just built a community of men who come together weekly, different things that we got going on. We got an event coming up here that just our retreat. We're just going to get together and chill. But we bring men together to build battle and bond so we can be the best versions of ourselves, because when each individual takes care of themselves, they can expand that out to everybody around them. And the world's just a better place because of that. So that's my story.
That's a good ride you went on, and that's a full house you have right there.
Yes.
Of course. And at some point during there, I'm sure you had other, like you said, you did have other bouts of anxiety before, but you probably didn't really recognize them as that at that point.
Oh, no,
just
I did.
Weird feeling. Oh, you did? Okay.
No, I hid my anxiety for 15 years. So,
okay. Oh, wow.
I wanted to be the tough guy who could handle it all by himself. Well, I've learned throughout the years that, as men, we like to be the tough guy, do everything by ourselves. But the problem with that is we got to understand we can't do everything by ourselves. And there's times that we need to reach out for help. But I didn't want to do that, because if I reached out for help, that means I was going to have to deal with the stuff I didn't want to deal with. And I didn't want to do that. So it took me till 35 to be able to be like, all right, I got to deal with this stuff now. So.
And I think that's a transformation. A lot of the listeners can go right in with that, as a lot of them were in the military or other services such as the police force or fire services. If you have something that's perceived as a weakness to the person standing next to you, you're not going to let them know.
Absolutely.
And you're going to keep that festering inside you until that one day when you hit that rock bottom, you hit the floor, and you have to bounce up on your own somehow at that point. And I think everyone on this call that's going to hear this in the audience is going to have an aha moment. Oh, damn, that's me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And the crazy thing about that too is just like, I don't know if people around, because I was looked at as like Mr. Positivity, but the problem is I wasn't Mr. Positivity in my own mind. Like, that wasn't happening. So I was basically faking everybody out. But the worst thing, I was faking myself out. But the thing is we try to mask who we really are and our faults and our weaknesses. But the problem is everybody already knows them anyways. We just don't want to call it out. You know what I mean? Like, my wife, when I finally got the guts, and it was after that moment it was probably 2 weeks after that. And those 2 weeks were like hell, man. I was just like, I could not shut all the weird stuff that was going on in my head. And I finally got to the point where I was like, hun, like, I have anxiety. It's all day, every day. I can't shut it off. I just don't know what to do right now. And I just want it to stop. And she's like, I'm here for you. I don't know what to do either, but I'm here to support you. And I'm like, no, wait, you're not going to think less of me? Like, you don't think I'm a wussy or less of a man, or like, no, wait, hold on a sec. Like, you're okay with this? And she's like, well, I'm not okay with it, but like, I'm here to help you. I'm not going to like down you because you're going through something. Like, I just want to be here to help you get through it. And I'm like, well, shit, I should have said this like a long time ago. This would have been a lot better. But all these things that we project on ourselves, like, hey, this is going to happen. I thought she was going to think less of me, but the problem is I was thinking less of me. It wasn't, it was me mirroring what I thought onto her, which wasn't the case. And I was like, huh. So, and that's one of the things, like, when I talk about the brotherhood and we have conversations, it's like, I'll say something like I'm going through. Yes, I lead, but I also participate and learn as much as everybody else in the brotherhood. But I'll say something like I'm going through and struggling through. And then one of our other brothers are like, dude, I'm going through the same thing right now. I'm like, oh, wait, holy crap, you are too? And I'm like, I thought I was the only one, and it's like, we get that mentality. We know it's not true that we're just the only one, but when we're going through the stuff, when we're bogged down by like work-life balance, when we're like driving home, we're like, oh my God, I got to do this and this and this and this. I got all this stuff going on. And we just feel drained. We feel like we're the only one that goes through that, but we're not. And having conversations like you and I are today, those are the ones that allow us to be able to reach out and finally like say something or get help, or reach out and have some other guys that you're like, hey, you know what? I can actually talk with this guy about stuff other than football, beard, and and stuff like that. So, although those are fun to talk about as well, but you can go a little deeper.
Time and place too. So you got to do that.
Absolutely.
Like even 10 years ago, I wouldn't be able to tell my buddies what just happened to me as far as not being able to eat meat anymore.
Yeah.
I'd be ashamed to say I can't sit around and burn meat with you and drink beers. But now I just walked out and say, look, I got bit by a tick. I can't eat meat anymore, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, bull crap, that can't happen to you. I said, well, it did. And here's the medical proof. It shows it.
Yeah.
But I said, I hate it myself. Believe me, I can't. I'm just sitting here smelling your meat to make myself feel full. So this is awesome. But I can share it with you now.
Correct. Absolutely. Yeah.
Because just like you said, that all those years, 10 years ago, probably not even 10 years, 6 years ago, before I got out of the military, I wouldn't have told anyone. I would just faked it.
Yeah.
Would have just took the meat and like threw it behind me as I was eating or something, or threw it in the trash and just eat the rice around it, just to show I was still part of them.
Yeah. Yeah, man. What are the crazy things we do to feel part of something? You know what I mean?
Right.
That's crazy. And first of all, I want to just recognize you for your service to our country, and the reason why we're able to do what we're doing and have this conversation here is because it's men and women like yourselves who are able to fight for freedoms all around the world. So I super appreciate that, and super proud of what you've done and every serviceman and woman out there and all the facets of what they do.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So you said you're going to have a retreat here soon. Where do you hold those?
Yeah. This is actually going to be our first retreat. So it's we're holding it at one of our brothers has 8 acres here in Pennsylvania. So we're going to be holding on his land. We're doing some camping out. We're going to be doing some. He also has a forge, so he's actually forged some throwing knives. So we're going to do some forging too of our own. We're going to do some throwing knives. We're going to do some probably just sitting around a campfire telling some stories, because this will be the first time because of COVID and everything. It'll be the first time that we actually physically meet, because we got guys all over the United States and up into Canada. So we got guys flying in from California, coming down from Michigan, stuff like that, down in Maryland, Delaware, up to PA. So we got everybody kind of conversion here, and to be the first time that we actually meet in person. No, we meet every week over Zoom in our brotherhood group, and we got groups run every Tuesday and Wednesday for guys all over the country. And but this is so cool, because it's like I'm now actually going to be able to like physically see these people and give them a hug and be like, dude, man, like I love you, brother. Like it's awesome. Like it's really cool. I'm super excited for it. I got to meet a couple of them the other week, and played around of golf, and it was just really cool. You talk on Zoom, but then when you're face to face and you're in person, it's like it gives it a whole nother feel and a whole nother level of just that bond that you build with guys. And I have no problem, like saying like, man, I love these guys because we've battled together. Like we've gone through some stuff, man, together. And it's important to have that bond and to be able to battle together and to be able to build those foundations in ourselves, but with other people as well.
And to see them as more than an icon on Zoom is probably amazing after almost 2 years of that's all most of us can do. Even motivational speakers are speaking to a Zoom right now, and all they see is audiences icons. Oh, that's a pretty small guy right there. Then you come off the plane. Wow, that dude's huge. Oh my God.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be real cool. So I'm super excited. One of our goals with that retreat every year is just to come and chill. There are other things that we're going to do and get together and push ourselves, push our bodies, push our minds, stuff like that. Teaching things that with Purpose Infused Brotherhood, with the Brotherhood itself, but also other events that include men from all around the country. But one of the things I want to do is any of the members of our Brotherhood definitely just want to get together and hang out, just chill. We're going to do some hiking, stuff like that, kind of sit in nature, connect with that energy. And just kind of enjoy the time together, sit around a campfire. We're going to play some music, sing some songs, and tell some stories.
Nice. Get some kumbaya going. That'd be good.
Oh, yeah. we probably might break that out, too. Just for shits and giggles.
So someone's gonna be able to play the guitars. It'd be good.
Oh, yeah.
And you said you have guys from all across the country. Do you have anyone from Tennessee coming up?
We do not have anyone from Tennessee. Nope.
Okay.
I think
no
the furthest, so furthest south, I think is right now is Maryland. As we head west up into Michigan, we got some Michigan, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Jersey, Maryland, almost down in Virginia. He's almost in Virginia, California, Canada, up in the Toronto area, I believe that's where he's from. So we got guys all over the place, but yeah, some of the guys, because it's, COVID and traveling and all that kind of stuff too. So we're going to have about 10 guys there 10 to 12 guys come in that can make it because of all. We're gonna have a hell of a good time.
10 is better than the 0 you could have had last year. So this is a big plus.
That is true. So
when someone joins your brotherhood, or if they start an initiation information call with you, I guess it's with you alone, right? And what do you go through on that call, and then how do you get them transformed into becoming part of the brotherhood?
Well, they actually end up going through an initiation program. But
when I come in and talk with guys who are interested in brotherhood, is I just sit down with them, get initiation process, and basically what that is an 8-week step to be able to go through that Phoenix cycle. The first 2 weeks are
burn down the old self. It gets pretty heavy. It gets quick, and the reason is because
all those things
that we don't really want to deal with.
We need to burn them down. And then weeks 2 to 6 are all about rebuilding that purposeful man. You know, who do you want to be? What do you want to look at? Why do you want to do these things? You like, what is it? What do you want to be? And what kind of career do you want to be? Where do you want to see yourself in 1 to 2 to 3 years? How do you want to act? What are these core characteristics of the new man that you want to be? And out of the burning down that old self comes that new. And then the week 6 is really getting initiated into the brotherhood
and looking at,
hey, how do I move forward from here? How do I design my life that's going to keep me centered? So every day, you know,
all the things I
do in my life work.
Different kids and you know, my career, or if I'm a coach here, or you know, football coach here, baseball coach here, I can help out in my community. It's how do we take all those things, stay centered,
and be the best for
every single
day.
Then as they join week 3,
they start being introduced to the brotherhood, kind of getting a feel of what we do. We got guys that are welcome. And it's cool because like guys are going through the process, and they're telling, I did this activity this week, this action strategy this week, and it was tough.
Not to sit on the surface and be like, here, I had to go
a couple real with my
have these conversations with guys in the brotherhood, and it's like, you know, other guys who have gone through it, other guys who have like, man,
it
wasn't fun at all, but
week process, but basically to always
be able to go through that
Phoenix cycle of burning the old self down, from those ashes, rebuilding the new self, and then the last looking at,
here's who I want to be.
How can I utilize, but to help
and expand that out to everybody around me and into my
family,
my community.
That's awesome, and I like the approach. It's not really a military way of destroying someone and building them back up. You kind of just let them break themselves down slowly, realizing the problem, and identify it, and then they start to build with their brothers that action plan moving forward. So that's a really bluntly to them. You tell them what they're going to go through. Mm-hmm. I know there's a lot of dudes that'll just say, I'm not going through that. I'm hanging out. Goodbye. And you'll never hear from them again. But then there are those guys that say, I need that. That's my come to Jesus moment now. I need this now. And I need to move forward with my life in a better way than I am right now. I need to walk purposely. Like the Purpose Infused Brotherhood will teach them as they go forward. And those are the ones that you really want in the program, because then they'll actually push it for others to say, look, it worked for me, and you know I was a knucklehead. It'll work for you.
Absolutely, man.
And I was a knucklehead, and it worked for me. So something has to be doing pretty well in this. So, but no, and that's true, man. And you know, and any coach out there, you know, anybody, just like here, you know, you don't want to get on for your podcast and not have that conversation that's going to help your audience out. You want to be able to have that. So nobody wants to work with someone else. You know, I'm sure you saw it in the military as a teacher and a high school baseball coach for many years. I've seen just don't want to work. They're not coach.
Right.
Those are definitely guys I don't want to work with, because
I frankly don't. Some people are like, oh, that sounds mean. But it's not mean. it's going to be
right. And more for every good person that
else, instead of helping somebody that doesn't want to help themselves.
Right. So for every good person you have, there's that one person that you have to put a lot of time and energy into. And like you said, in the military, if we had one bad apple, that bad apple would take about 7 hours of your day. So you're losing most of your day to one bad apple, trying to straighten them out or push them out, while the rest of your soldiers have to work on their own, basically, to be their best version of themselves.
Yeah. And that's not fair. That's not fair for everybody else. You're not getting the same attention, or it's not about attention. You're getting the same opportunity. More time has to be devoted to this other person.
So the training won't be the same, the information won't be the same, but at the same time, you go through that stuff. Sometimes doing things by yourself is a good thing. As well as
being there with
brothers.
It's a lot different than
right. Definitely. It's much better to have a band of brothers around you than to be in a boat by yourself with half a oar trying to go down river. Yeah,
that's true. Or upriver, that's even the worst.
I've fallen out of boat.
Or you're in a still pond, or you're just going around in a circle around. And honestly, sometimes that's as men, that's kind of the way we feel. We're going around in a circle. We're like, damn, where's that other oar at? I could really use that right now. And that's really what I help men do. I help men find that other
oar. I help men go and point in the direction that they
and move that direction. And we always talk about it in the brotherhood too, is
the difference between a tugboat and a lighthouse. And lots of times, sharing my story, I was trying to be everything for, and I was being nothing for myself. And that's a problem that providers and protectors. And what we talk about is the tugboat and the lighthouse. Well, the tugboat will go out and save and basically hook up and pull the ship back in. Well, the tugboat just keeps going out and wearing itself out. But the lighthouse does the same thing. It sips, but it stays in one. It puts itself planted firmly in the ground and just shines its light out. It does the same thing, but it ain't doing that a tugboat's going to do. It's not doing the work. So just like you, podcast, Misfit Nation, you're shining your light out there, and some people are going to be like, see that light, and they're going to be like, yeah, I love it, man. Yes, I get a lot of this out, and I'm going to take this, and I'm going to spread that information out as well. And some people are going to look at it and be like, that's stupid. Some people are going to go through the light now, not need it, but then they're going to come back through the light, and they're going to be like, hey, man, I really need this, and thanks, Rich, for doing what you do. We always talk about be the lighthouse. Find out what it is that shines your light, and then shine that out as bright as you can. And the more that you build and stay centered in that, which is what we help guys do together, we build battle and bond together. Well, that helps my light stay bright and shine out more. And the more we help other men do that, the more we have a better world. Because, if we're helping men, we're focused on men just in my coaching aspect, but this also applies to women too. When men and women shine their light out, everybody wins. It's a dichotomy.
Oh, definitely. And I've seen it on both sides. I see the women that give everything to everyone else and then slowly burn out and break. And they don't realize the why, because no one is moving forward for them. They're moving forward for everyone else at the time.
Yeah. And
the same goes for both genders. There's always the people that give, and there's always those people that just keep taking until they kill you.
Yeah. We don't want those leeches.
Yes. And if you don't teach them not to be leeches, they're just going to keep doing it. And once you break that habit, they'll be much better in life.
I agree.
So if there was three qualities of a person you'd want to join the Infused Brotherhood, what would those three qualities be?
Well, I would say the first quality is accountability and ownership. Accountability is important for that person to have.
And the reason why that is because it's your life. It's their life. I'm not here to tell them what to do. I'm not here to say this and that. That's not the coaching and the kind of I do. None of the brothers,
every brother in here, you're yourself. I'm not going to be here to sit here and hold you accountable. We're going to help hold yourself. So
the first quality I would say
is somebody that, hey, I want to be accountable, or I am accountable to myself. So that would be the first one. The other one is honesty. Honesty is the best policy, and that's what we are. We're open and honest because, if I'm not honest with myself and you're not honest with yourself coming into the brotherhood, it's probably not going to out too much. Those guys will initiation program because they won't be honest with themselves. They won't get what they need. And then they'll be like, hey, I don't think this is working for me. And I'll be like, yeah, it probably isn't, because you're not being honest with yourself. And that's okay. In your life, you can do that if you want. So I would say accountability, honesty. And the last one I would say is trust. We got to have that quality of trust that I can open, because, trust and vulnerability go together. And I can trust you, which means I then can be vulnerable, or vice versa. If I can be vulnerable with you, I can trust you. So it kind of goes hand in hand there with the trust and vulnerability. But, I think a trusting person allows other people to be vulnerable. So I can share with you things that I probably wouldn't share with somebody else. My buddies I hang out with and stuff like that. We watch football, things like that, go play and stuff like that. Like usually, we're talking about other stuff. We're not going deep, but there's other guys that I can go deeper with. Those are the guys I really, I honor, I trust, I respect, and I appreciate for being able to go deeper. But I also I respect and appreciate. We need that too. So that's
I would say accountability, trust, and I totally just forgot the middle one. The middle one.
Honesty. Honesty.
There we go. That's what it is. Because I trust and vulnerability.
I'm like 4. So I'm counting. I'm like, wait, he said 3, but I said 4. That's not. But
so you had to throw a little algebra in there for me to keep me guessing.
Yeah. And I my ADHD brain squirrels out a lot too, and I'm like, oh yeah, squirrel, look over there. But
that's awesome. I know you have multiple platforms people can get in contact with you. What are the best ways to get in contact with you based off those platforms?
I would say we have a free Facebook group on obviously on Facebook. I was going to say it's Purpose Infused Brotherhood on Facebook. So we have a free group there. I'm also on Instagram, Purpose Infused Brother. I'm also on LinkedIn, Purpose Infused Brotherhood. And go check out Build, Battle, Bond. And right now I have on there the top 3 ways to become the best version of yourself. It's a 3-day video series. It's free. You just got to put
2 to 3 days in a row. And that just looks at how can you be the best version of yourself, and what does it give
you a video training
that goes with it, or an action strategy that goes with it each day for 3 days, and just kind of
is a small snippet of some of the things that we do in the brotherhood and things that we kind of keep ourselves centered in there, and that'll come right to your email for 3 days. So that's what I would say. Head to Build, Battle, Bond if you want some more information there too. That's actually going to give you a good lead in and say, hey, if this is valuable to me here,
process has and the brotherhood has for me. So it's just a good way to kind of peek of all the things and the value that the Purpose Infused Brotherhood offers.
Awesome. Clay, thanks again for taking some of your time to be on the show. And I look forward to seeing where the purposeful infused.
That was great chatting with Clay and learning his story, and most of all, what he's doing now with the Infused Brotherhood. Be sure to reach out to him through all his platforms listed in the show notes, and he will take you on a journey you won't regret. You know how we do this. Thanks for taking some of your time to spend with us on the Misfit Nation. Be sure to hit that subscribe button and share the link as much as possible. Make sure you visit our YouTube channel as we have videos posted there weekly. If you want to, please become a supporter. If you know someone that's out there looking to support an up-and-coming podcast, send them our way through themisfitnation.com and message us. We appreciate you. If you know someone who has that energy, who has a great story, who has a product that you know the world needs to hear about, have them visit our website at themisfitnation.com. Reach out to us. We get back to people within one day. So as always, till next time, be humble, stay hungry, and keep hustling. Because we are the Misfit Nation.